he pastors the New Birth Coliseum football stadium in Lithonia, Georgia, where the Atlanta Hawks play on Sunday night. He is known all across the world, Morehouse graduate, Duke graduate, earned D-man, just brilliant, beautiful Black brother committed to social justice. But tonight I asked him to put on another hat, which it took a whole lot of gumption to do, because I actually wanted him to talk about, with transparency, maybe what not to do.
That's good.
His divorce is public record, his separation from his beautiful ex-wife, his beautiful children. And so I wanted him to address our entire crowd on a little bit about what he's learned and what maybe you can get out of hanging with us. So Dr. Bryant, take over.
Thank you so very much. Good morning. Well, good morning for me. It's 2 a.m. here where it is that I am. But to the Vernons, thank you so very much for trusting me to break into your inner circle of trust. I am just grateful to be a part, and peace and blessings to all of you. I want to jump right in and say to you that when the pandemic first started back in 2020, the very first thing to go viral, was the Don't Rush Challenge. When the whole world was shutting down, slowing down, everybody was going on TikTok, going on Instagram, and doing all of these dances and gyrations to Don't Rush. I want us to look at real quick 1 Corinthians chapter 13. It is the most exhaustively quoted passage of scripture of all Negro weddings about what love is. But here's what I want you to look at in 1 Corinthians chapter 13 that is absolutely mind-blowing. There are 8 things that the apostle says that love is not. There are 7 things that he says love is. He is very particular to line out that there are more things that you got to know that love is not than there is that love is. A whole lot of people who are rushing towards love, you know what you want, but you haven't written out a list of what you don't want. And I want to take a few moments to talk about the one we never talk about. And that's this one. Love is patient. Do you know who are the hardest people to have patience? The hardest people to have patience are people who are anointed with an assignment, because God will give you the assignment, but never give you a date. And so you're trying to figure out, is this assignment for now or is it for later? The same thing happens for us in our love and our intimate lives, is that we know that we're supposed to be a husband, know that we're supposed to be a wife, know that they're supposed to be together, but have we found what it means to have patience? Your greatest Don't Rush challenge is about your relationship. I got to show you this. It's getting ready to blow your mind. Is that in dealing with Don't Rush, I want you to understand the patience of love and what that means. The patience of love suggests, here it is, that it is not weakness. It is protracted strength. Patience is not weakness. It is protracted strength. And so guess who has the greatest amount of patience? The one who has the greatest amount of patience is a nurse. Second one that has the greatest amount of patience is a kindergarten teacher. Isn't it amazing that those who are sick are called patients? Those who are not well are called patients. People who don't have it all together are patients. So people who got something that is broken in your heart, broken in your spirit, broken out of your past, your patience requires and demands a nurse. And the nurse cannot be somebody who can't breathe CPR back into you. The second greatest profession that requires patience is a kindergarten teacher, because you got to learn how to read for the first time. Read who it is that they are. You've got to read, if you have not already, about the love languages. It's going to change your life. Somebody who will show you it's time for you to count, to sit down. It's time for you to be quiet. Love requires patience. It's hard for you to be a nurse if you can't handle the sight of blood. You'll never be a nurse if you can't handle your mate's bleeding, their baggage, their wounds, their issues. I want to tell you why love is patient. Love is patient because love always comes with a conspiracy. Anybody who loves you but doesn't have a plan is not patient. Can you imagine that he knew you while you were still in your mother's womb and waited for you to come out to execute the plans that he has for you? Love is patient. Love holds its ground. The president of the Ukraine, when it is that Russia first invaded, the United States and the United Kingdom said that we'll bring in a plane to come pull you out of the Ukraine. Do you know what the president of the Ukraine says? Says, I don't need a plane. I need weapons. I know that I'm outnumbered. I know that I'm out militarized. But one thing I know for sure is Russia doesn't have my patience. Can you be patient when when the relationship is blowing up?
Dr. Bryant, let me jump in because I'm loving this.
Yes, sir.
They tell me between VIP, we can see those there, well over 1,000 people watching all across the world. I must hurry you and ask you this because there are persons who need to hear this. If you could talk to singles again, you talk to our VIP audience, shameless plug, you need to register for VIP tomorrow, and the cost is minimal. It should be triple that, just based on what our VIP audience got a chance to ask Dr. Bryant and me. You only can ask questions if you're part of the VIP. So to the thousands watching, click right there to be a part of VIP tomorrow. We have some more outstanding guests that are known all across this world for outstanding ministry. So I wish you could have had a chance to be on with us for VIP. But Dr. Bryant, to our general audience, again, it's public record that, again, your marriage dissolved. Speak to singles very specifically about those things that you would have done differently, and to married couples about major dangers they should avoid, or as transparent as you like to be about what killed your marriage.
Yes. And I want to apologize to thousands of you all. I thought I was telling y'all, I was really telling Dr. Vernon, be patient. I'm coming to it. I thought I was talking to y'all. Please forgive me. I was talking to my brother, be patient. And so the impatience of what it is that I functioned and flowed out of was not having of the patience enough to wait for me. A whole lot of you are impatient waiting for another person, but you are not patient enough to get you right first. So I had an amazing wife, an incredible family, but I was impatient. Bill Clinton was asked in an interview by Barbara Walters, why in the world you're in the White House, you're in the highest ranking seat of authority in the world, you're in the Oval Office, you got a beautiful daughter, why did you cheat on Hillary Clinton? This is what was asked of William Jefferson Clinton. And President Clinton said, drum roll, because I could. He was not patient enough to catch up with his assignment. His impatience was now surrendering to his flesh. Are you patient enough to be lonely? Here it is, when you know you are the one that's toxic. My ex-wife and I went to 3 different counselors. All of them told me, Lady Vernon, if you want this marriage to work, come off the road. You want this family to come together, put as much emphasis in your marriage as you do into the ministry. I was married to the ministry and made my family the mistress, and everything else fell apart. I got to tell you all this. We have all of the data that is saying this generation is getting married later. putting off children later. Why? Because they are in a rush for their own personal attainment without finding how do I do the development. Here is your DJ Khaled major key alert. Your major key alert is, can you wait on God without rushing your own agenda? Not asking you what it is that you want, but what is it that he wants for you? And can you wait on it? I got to tell you this before Dr. Vernon comes in again. I got to tell you this real quick. I remember a couple of years ago, I'm in the drive-thru. I don't even eat there no more. So you know there's been some time. Some years ago, I went to McDonald's and I ordered a Big Mac and I said to them, I want a Big Mac with no special sauce. I paid the people and then they told me to pull over to the side. Cars went by. More cars went by. More cars went by. I'm now impatient. I'm aggravated. I honk the horn. Why are all these people getting theirs before me? The manager came out and said, because yours is special order. Ladies and gentlemen, God gave me a special order wife, and I opted for a prepackaged meal. When it is that you lower your standard, when you lower your expectation of grace, you miss out on what it is that is prepared for you. I admire Dr. R.A. Vernon, not just because of his amazing preaching, not just because of his incredible organization, administrative skills, not just because of his love for the city of Cleveland, but how he models family and marriage first. There is not a day, there's not a moment where he is not pushing his wife. It ain't for the ground, but it is really in his heart. I know that we are now living in an age where people do things for likes, but God calls us to love. Shakespeare said this, to thine own self be true. I got to give you what my mother told me. My mother said to me, and I now say it to the 1,000 of you who are on here, you'll never fall in love with anybody, nor will you love anybody correctly when you don't know how to love yourself. So my wife was not the problem. I was the problem. Is I didn't know how to appropriately love me. And as a consequence, it showed up in my marriage. I have been taking notes. I've been on here since the VIP class before y'all ever came in. I am in Holland right now. It's 2 a.m. And I got to tell y'all, I am not just a friend, I'm a fan. Because I am a fan, I'm taking copious notes from what both doctors Vernon are imparting tonight. And I'm saying to you that you need to be in this inner circle, because if I can be in here 2 o'clock in the morning, y'all got to be here. I need you, whatever it is that you're going to do, I need you to get in it now. Tonight, I came on as a presenter. Tomorrow night and the night after that, I am coming in as a student. So I'm coming in on 3 different levels, somebody who is single, somebody who is divorced, hear this, and somebody who is widowed because the old me had to die. So I want you to be in class with me. I want you telling people everywhere, me and Jamal went to school together. I want you to tell everybody that Jamal is in my class because as much as I am imparting, I am still receiving. Don't ever get to the place where you know absolutely everything because you know nothing. Last, I got to tell you this. The most known scripture in the world is what? For God so loved the world, he gave. The passion of Christ does not come with scented candles. The passion of Christ does not come with satin sheets. The passion of Christ does not come with a bouquet of FTD flowers. The passion of Christ always comes with pain. You never know the depth of your love until you have experienced something that is painful and then resolve it is worth it. Whatever it is that you have encountered in your love history, in your love relationship, I know it was painful, but it got you to this moment. And because of that, here it is. I'm not asking you to give a pint of blood. I'm asking you to get in this class. Come, the apostle says, let us reason together. I want all of us to get it right. When God blesses me to get married again, if R.A. Vernon ain't praying, it ain't a real marriage. I'm putting that on record. if R.A. Vernon's son ain't bringing that little white sheet down the center aisle, don't y'all even believe that is real. I'm gonna have the Vernons all up through it and in it, because that's how much it is that I believe in the call and the mantle that is on their life. Dr. Vernon, thank you so much for letting me have a slumber party with you.
Man, go ahead.
Thank you, Jamal. You talked about patience and you talked about love. One of my favorite scriptures in the Bible is Matthew 19:11. And it talks about everyone is not mature enough for the largeness of marriage. Ooh. Everyone is not mature enough. I think my husband and I, we decided to grow up. And unfortunately, or fortunately, we had to grow up with each other because we said, I do. Again, going back to that patience that you talked about and being real. When we drove down to Akron, Ohio, we were a mess, but we decided, we chose, and we choose to stay together, that longevity that he talked about. So Jamal, you are absolutely right. The work, you have to do the work. I decided on that ride down to Akron, Ohio, that I was going to do the work, that I was going to be naked and not ashamed, that I was going to lay it all out, because I knew that I had something in him, that my destiny was tied to him, that his destiny was tied to me. That's right, singles. You got to make sure that when you hook up with that person, that individual, that is your destiny. Is it something that your longevity is going to be connected to him? And are you willing to do the work?
Dr. Vernon, Dr. Bryant, I love you. I want you to read Matthew.
Listen, I got to say something first. The Lord said I had to bring Dr. Vernon to new birth. And up till 90 seconds ago, I thought it was R.A. Vernon. I had the wrong Vernon. Lady Dr. Vernon, I need you to come to new birth. You got to just ooze it out of your pores. I'm just grateful for the impartation you're giving. You are a sign of strength that is only matched with elegance. And thank you for helping walk us through the path. I'm grateful. Vernon, she make you look good, sir.
Dr. Bryant, I am her manager, so I handle her honorariums. So we'll talk about that. It could possibly happen. But listen, read Matthew 19 from the Message version, right. Jamal. Read Matthew 19:11 from the Message version. It's gonna make you want to preach. Listen, I'm gonna let you